In today's video, we're going to go over a few ways that you can keep the narrative in your game making sense, even if there's going to be players missing a week. And we should have several methods that'll work for most game types. So, let's get right into it. The first one we were going to look at was some sort of NPC intervention. So, we're talking at the very end of your session. Hopefully you've already planned this out maybe with your player, but even if not, you might be able to get away with it. At the very end of your session, some NPC comes out of the blue and has this strange intervention with that player that's going to be gone the next week, and then they are taken off to some other adventure, more or less, while the rest of the players play the next session. So something like this could be just someone coming in riding a horse, and they're addressing that player specifically, and they're like, hey, this person's in trouble, we gotta go. And then they just hop on the horse and they're like, okay, bye everybody else, we'll see you sometime. Or it could even be something that's less cooperative, maybe like a kidnapping in the middle of the night, something like that. Basically the concept is some NPC shows up and whisks that player away so that it makes sense narratively that they're not there next week.
Yeah, that honestly makes a lot of sense and could be really fun, especially if you just sprung it on your player, or you use their backstory against them in some way. That could be really funny too.
Yeah, this is a great way to introduce some sort of plot hook that your player may already have kind of in store for you through their backstory. Love those players. Or just some random plot hook they have no idea about. Either way, it'd be a fun way to handle it.
Moving on to point number 2. A portal opens. You may have heard this from another YouTube channel. One of the dungeon dudes is actually one of the favorite things that I watch, and it does make a lot of sense. There's just a random portal that opens and takes them somewhere else. But if you break this down, it could be a little more serious, as in it's a teleport, or in another one of our videos we referenced the Hearthstone, from World of Warcraft. So you just crush this stone and it takes you back home. So just some sort of teleport that takes you to an area that everyone isn't. It could be a one-time teleport, a teleport for one person specifically, or even just a quick way to introduce a new plot point or obstacle for the party to go through.
Yeah, one of the good things about basically all these methods is that if you want to, you can definitely turn them into plot hooks. So you've got 1 week where you're like, oh no, this player's going to be missing, and realistically you turn the whole thing into just compounding onto your story even more. So that's a lot of these you'll see you can do that with. So that's good. Another one we were looking at is some sort of personal goal, right? Or some maybe even a compulsion. But basically the whole thing is that it's an internal conflict somehow with that player. So maybe they've got some hidden agenda that they're not necessarily sharing with the party, and they are randomly just I have to go do this thing. And it might sound cheesy in the moment, but realistically, again, you use it to deliver this really interesting plot hook where they end up being an assassin for some guild or something like that. And they actually have to go maybe, assassinate someone or something. Right?
No, it sounds like it makes a lot of sense. And to be honest, every person on the planet has something that they have to do. You have responsibilities, and so do the people in the game. So it only makes sense that there's something that's calling to someone, like a loved one or a certain affiliation to a group. And this could actually even be a really great opportunity for you and the DM to get together and say, hey, the character's kind of lame. Can I be the secret villain? Or anything like that, spice it up.
Yeah, for sure. Again, plot hook central. All these you can use definitely to just kind of improve on the story you already have going.
Definitely.
Another one that we like a lot is just the classic kind of meta comic relief method where they're going to be gone. And this is honestly one of those you can get away with this one without planning much. But just go really on the nose about it and be like, okay, well, I guess that character overslept and they're just gonna sleep for the next entire adventure, and then they wake up when you get back, and you wake them up.
Right.
Or maybe they run in and join the dungeon that you're halfway through the next session, and they're just like, you guys could have woke me up. For this one, you really got to deliver it kind of intentionally right on the nose about it, you know? Like, don't act like you're hiding something.
Right.
At least then your players get a good laugh.
100%. Don't spare the cheese. This is exactly what it's for. Like, you're supposed to be walking around as Weekend at Bernie's, or like another really fun one at our table is the coma cart. It's just a cart that you're in, and for the duration that you're gone, you just happen to be in a coma.
Yeah.
You kind of have plot armor because no one's going to mess with you, but at the same time, we're just dragging around a semi-dead body. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually had this happen at one of our games where someone left and there happened to be a combat encounter at the end of that session when they were leaving. And right out of the gate, I was DMing, and right out of the gate, I just knocked that character out in combat. Kind of throwing them across the room so they weren't in the middle of combat. And at the end of the whole thing, the players just found a cart outside the dungeon and just hauled their friend that was definitely in a coma around until they came back.
Right. Get some sunglasses, you're all good. One more thing that can be kind of like comic relief, and it's more or less your party picking on NPCs in the world. So just dropping off the PC on that random store clerk or tavern keeper that you guys just happen to be making their lives harder every time you come around. And this could be a perfect way to know that you're gonna come back for him.
Yeah, basically you're just kind of dumping your friend at someone's doorstep. Maybe they drank too much, and you happen to have already met up with the magic shop owner a few times, so you just drop them on their the patio of their shop, and they're gonna take care of them. You know, it's just the right thing to do.
Are they bad people? I don't think so.
Right. I don't know, maybe some of the magic shop owners. Another method, if you've watched Critical Role at all, you're going to see this a few times there. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, one of the ways they handle that, they don't want to take that person out of the story, or it doesn't really work to take them out of the story, and they'll kind of just have some of the other players control their character. Mm-hmm. This is a pretty good method. If you're going to do this, of course, obviously all the players need to be on the same page with this. The player that's going to be missing probably shouldn't control their character for any more than simple comic relief, of course, unless they're okay with it.
Yeah, you don't want to take away their agency, and that's kind of like number one for players.
Yeah, for sure. So for doing that, one of the things that you could consider with that is maybe only having them in combat, not worrying about the kind of money they might be spending outside of combat, the things they might be doing to get themselves in trouble, all that. Maybe just run them for combat. Or you can end up doing the exact opposite. If you want to make sure that they can't get harmed in combat, maybe just have a player maybe sort of role play them and keep them out of the combat. Either way.
Right. Just as far as it goes, don't make any serious decisions. Don't spend their gold. Don't burn any bridges. Don't kill them. If a player is actually going to be gone for more than one session, let's say 2, 3, even a month, there's obviously going to be a level discrepancy unless you drag them along the entire time. So a way that you can actually fix that could be they're on a self-improvement trial all on their own, more or less. They're not happy with the way that they've been performing, or they're starting to think that they're putting their friends in danger because of their incompetency, and that's why they've taken a break to become better. Even though they could have done that with the group, they've chosen to do that narratively in their world alone.
Yeah, it really is just kind of like a self-quest. It could just be like, you can talk with this with your players or whatever, but your player could just be like, I really didn't like, I feel like I was really slowing us down the last time we were in that one fight. I just need to take some time on my own and do some training, It's a pretty simple setup, and it would work, especially if you said, or like you said, multiple sessions. If you know they're going to be gone for a couple of weeks, this one might be a good one to go.
Oh, definitely. It's more or less when vacation time comes up and you don't want to stop playing.
Yeah, so that's a lot of our ideas for how to handle players being gone for certain sessions. there are definitely plenty of other good resources on YouTube that you may have even seen first, but one of the ones we've seen and liked a lot was by the DM Layer, just a video about player absences in general. You can find that video up over here. But yeah, if you liked any of this, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. We're going to try to grow the channel, so thanks for stopping by.
Right. See you guys later, and we can't wait to see you again.
That's right. See ya.